because I came across a commentary by Chrissie on her YouTube channel. She's a blogger. She has a online magazine called DDS magazine, Divinely Dark Skin, and it's a magazine, an online magazine for black women. Her platform is dedicated to celebrating dark skin beauty in a society that doesn't. And she promotes self-esteem and addresses the interest of black women. The commentary, someone on this commentary that she did was about another online magazine that was attacking her for a forum that she was doing that only you had to be dark skinned. That was the requirement. If you weren't dark skinned, you couldn't be part of this forum. So the other online magazine had a problem with this and addressed it. So that is what the commentary was on. So as I was listening, she was making valid points. I had no problem with her having a forum for dark skinned black women only. Everyone should be able to have their group. And if you feel that your needs, will be met better by having it as non-inclusive and just for dark-skinned women, I have no problem with that. As I'm reading the comments on this particular commentary, people are leaving comments like, yeah, this light-skinned women just don't want to see. They're mad because they know that they see that dark-skinned women are getting shine now. It was just like a lot of negative comments towards light-skinned women. So I felt like there was a us versus them conversation going on. And a little bit in her commentary, she addressed it, but she really wasn't saying like all light-skinned women. She kept making the point to say, I'm not saying all light-skinned women. So had I done the commentary back then when I first wanted to, I wouldn't have had the information that I came across now. Because first and foremost, let me say that I totally applaud Chrissie. I like what she's doing. I feel that it's needed. We need to be using our social media platforms to promote our own image and stop waiting for mainstream media to do it because they're not, and why should they? So, it's not enough to just say, oh, well, we buy these things too, so they need to represent us. No, let's represent ourselves and how we want to see ourselves and not complain about how we're being portrayed by others. So I give her a 100% thumbs up on what she's doing. I just felt that on her platform, she should not allow the division conversation. I don't see where that helps the healing. So why I say I'm also glad that, well, not so much I'm glad I didn't do it. It just goes to show why I couldn't do it. Because again, divine timing. Today I came across a commentary from her on colorism. The name of it is the 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 bad and good of blackish and grownish colorism episodes. So she's talking about what she felt on the blackish episode, which I saw. I didn't see the grownish episode. Was that they made it equal, and what she was saying is that there isn't the weight of colorism is not the same on light-skinned women as it is on dark-skinned women or even people, so she makes many other points, but this particular one where she's really saying that she had a problem with them making it equal and it can never be equal, that's where I feel that we go wrong in this conversation. There's a lot of conversations that we have that aren't productive conversations. They're dead-end conversations like black women are too fat. Jesus was black. Religion is the downfall of the black community. Single mothers are the problem. The black woman is queen. The black man is king. It's the black men that step outside of the race more often. No, it's the black women that step out of the race more often. Or the black man is attacked more, or the black woman is attacked more. These type of conversations without a solution are pointless, because really it seems like these are just all issues that white supremacy threw out to us, and then we sit there and talk about it. I've been hearing the conversation on these issues for 20 years. So I say, if we are going to speak about colorism and we're going to continue to talk about this, let's talk about how we can fix it. So instead of looking at what the difference is, like, okay, there's some truth to it. You could say, like, oh, some light skinned women feel that they're better, or, they don't really like dark, or whatever, whatever they're saying, or like, um, dark skinned women, or there may be some truth to it, but how do we change it? How do we change how we respond to each other based on color? So first, I would say that, yeah, we need to address it, but address it within ourselves. What colorism issues do we have? Not look at the outside person or what somebody is doing to you or how they're responding to you, and to keep looking at that issue, but how are you yourself looking at colorism? Because to say that dark black women experience it more, I just can't agree with that, because, and I don't think that we should agree with it and start taking sides of who has it the worst, being black in America or in this society. Because just being that, you have it the worst. It's just like, for example, people that don't want to identify as black, they don't have to identify as black. But if they are if from a block away, you can't tell that they are not, white or European, like they don't look that, then you're in the black side, whether you identify as that or not. And when I say that, it's about how you will be treated. That's what I'm saying. So the colorism, and it's not even, so when you think about the whole thing, for us to start saying like, oh, um, they can never feel it the way dark skinned women feel it. There's many light skinned women that don't like their color or hate being the color that they are, because they come from mothers that are dark, aunties, cousins, nieces, daughters, and they love these women and find them beautiful. And they have a feeling of, or they have insecurities about always being put on a pedestal by certain people outside, in the outside world, for being light, or for people having the issues that they have about them being lighter, or feeling that they don't have the same black experience. Because listen, at the end of the day, a light-skinned mother, a dark-skinned mother with a boy out here has to still worry about her son being set up by the system to be jailed or to be killed, and their killer can go free. Okay, so it's like, that's what we're working with. So having conversations about, you know, this this just, it's just nonsense to a certain degree. So this is not to even criticize Chrissie, because like I said, I applaud her. I love what she's doing. And this is why I'm even mentioning what site it is and who she is, because it's like, go there, check it out, but go with an awareness to not get caught up in that. And I just wish that she would. I left a comment on her page also, because sometimes we do some things and we don't even realize we're doing it. It's just that we don't need to fuel that. We don't need to pepper perpetuate it. We need to end it. So how do we solve the colorism issues? Again, look inside yourself first and then deal with it, because there's never going to be any greatness without inward thought. And for us to become great as a people, because right now we're so oppressed and we need to power up, we have to let go of nonsense issues. In my first podcast, I quoted Nellie Fuller Jr., and I'm going to use the same quote again. He says that black people shouldn't even be in contact with each other unless they're talking about something productive. And he went on to say, if you listen to the average conversation on a cell phone, what do you hear? Nothing that needs to be said. And I 100% agree with him on that. We spend so much time talking about things that really we don't need to talk about. They're just dead end conversations. We should be talking about what can we do to build each other up. So just on that, going back on her saying that the plight is not the same, we as Black people have the same plight, whether it's man, woman, dark, light. We are all oppressed. We are all being victimized. And we need to rise up. And that's my purpose of being on this platform, because social media scares me. I'm going to talk about that in another podcast. I mean, I might have even mentioned it in something else before, but use the platform to share valuable information, because the more knowledge you have, the less likely you'll be victimized. So this is what we need to do. And that's why I say, again, I am applauding her, because she is sharing information that can uplift and, and giving people a space. And like I said, again, providing, putting our images out there in a way that we want to see it. And that's another thing that I notice a lot of times when Black people do have control over something. If they're making a book or they're creating something, they always feel this need to put white people in it. They sometimes just don't feel comfortable having an all Black page. And I think that we need to come out of that thinking that we must put one of them in to gain more, I guess, in terms of money, or to gain more of an audience. So, you could look at music videos, different things like that. Now, the music videos, I see it's a big thing with that to me, because I know how casting works. So sometimes we can't just always blame these rappers. Like, yeah, they can, and not even just rappers. I mean, I'm saying them because it's just funny to me. I come from an era where you wouldn't have even seen any white people in a rap video. To today, you have this Black rapper, but all of the ladies in the video are white or a white Hispanic. Okay. So, that's just fun. And like I said, so that's where like goes into casting and different things like that. So are they going to say, hey, this is what we want? So this is where it's like they will look at things like this and then we'll want to call out the colorism and different things like that. But we can just control our own images and what we want to see out there, and take more pride in it. Do not feel a need to, okay, I'm going to create a magazine, so I'm going to have to throw a white person in here, or even feeling comfortable sometimes using those images, because I look at so many white magazines and I can go through, I may go through 3 months of Vogue and there's not one Black person in it at all. Or, another magazine. I'm just saying Vogue because I'm thinking how thick a Vogue magazine can be. And I have gone through a Vogue magazine that's so thick, one of those, the fashion issues, I guess around September. And now maybe lately, yeah, there will be like a Black model or two in there. Yes, we know, but I'm saying on the most part, you can go through a thick Harper's Bazaar or Vogue magazine and not see one person of color in the spread. Or maybe you see one in the 386 pages that are there. We can do the same thing. So going back to her online magazine for the Divinely Dark Skin, it's not just Black women that want to see that. Other races do want to see the beautiful dark skin. So you don't have to put another race in to attract that other race. And that's just what I was going to say on that, because there's been times that I've looked through the Korean magazines, and not so much that I was that interested, but if I came across one in, say, wherever I'm at, maybe a nail shop, but actually you never see those in the nail shop. I've seen them in different places like the bank in Chinatown, things like that. And you go through it. So it's still interesting to me, and it's just like when you watch something on TV, when you're watching something about another culture. So we have to stop thinking that we have to put these commercial images in what we present, whatever it is, like in our movies, in our books, in our stories. Because it's always funny to me when I just see this token white person in a black thing. Like, when I think of TV shows, it never seems that there's ever a black TV show where there is not one white person in it at all. Or, where if they do show a white person, it's the person at the store. But you have tons of TV shows that you will see not one black person in the TV show unless maybe they're walking in a building and they want to show like maybe a janitor or somebody that works at the store or something like that. Like a very menial character, really not a character, really just an extra. So that's what I'm saying. We can do movies where there are no white people in the movie, that they are just an extra. And I'm not saying that we don't have movies like that, but on the most part, you have these TV shows, it's always like a continuing white character in that show. And we don't really have to do that. And I'm not really talking about when it's done by white people. I'm talking about when black people create something themselves and they feel like they have to throw someone white in. Anyway, I think I covered everything I wanted to say about the colorism thing. Like, let's just be strong. Let's think about empowerment. Let's not waste time on the same conversations that we've been having for 20 years unless we're talking about a solution. So yeah, let's talk about colorism with a solution, not to just keep reaffirming the same things that we've been talking about for years. The differences between how light-skinned people feel, dark-skinned people feel, how light-skinned people treat dark-skinned people, how dark-skinned people treat light-skinned people, how that's shown in the media. Because that's the thing, just because you see more lighter people in the mainstream media, it doesn't mean that light-skinned people don't have the same colorism issues. I mean, not to say colorism issues, to say that it is not equally psychologically damaging. That's what I'm really trying to get across. That the issues may be a little bit different. The dark-skinned women may feel like they're overlooked. But just because you feel that you're overlooked and a light-skinned woman isn't, it does not mean that colorism has not damaged her just as equally as it has damaged you, or tried to, or attempted to. If someone wants to say, well, no, it hasn't damaged me. And that's again where I think that we should start. We should all look at whatever colorism issues that we have and address it. And sometimes when you can call it out and say it yourself, that's when the effect of it becomes less. When you can really acknowledge it and acknowledge that maybe this doesn't benefit me, because this is what we should try to do with everything. Don't hold on to emotions. Don't hold on to thoughts. Don't hold on to ideas that are not going to advance you, uplift you. All right, there goes the phone ringing. So thanks for listening. Take it in and win. This episode in a nutshell: put an end to dead-end conversation. Take control of messy, systematic functioning and state of confusion. Take it in and win.